it is officially Halloween time.
Yes, you heard that right. It is officially the best time of the year, my favorite time of the year. We are in fall, full swing for Halloween season. So not only will I be trying on some costumes today, I will also be rating each costume to let you know if I think it is Hogwarts approved. A Slytherin slay. Basically just letting you know if I think that wizards, witches, and muggles alike would enjoy the costume and if it's worth your Gringotts coins. So if you're ready to start tricking or treating, mischief will not be managed around these quarters. Let's get started. I decided to go with a very popular, magical, and I feel like well-loved theme, which is Disney. All of the costumes I will be reviewing today are going to be Disney related. So I have 3 carefully selected Disney Halloween costumes here, all by the brands Leg Avenue. If you don't know Leg Avenue, they sell Halloween costumes. So, well, you know, what more do you need to know? To start out, we have Princess Aurora. This is called Sleeping Princess. It includes the dress, crown, and clear straps to keep the dress up. A Mad Hatter derivative. This is called the Deluxe Mad Hatter. It includes the dress, the neck piece, and the mini top hat. And for the last Leg Avenue Disney Halloween costume, we have Snow White. Let's go ahead and get right into it and see what I would rate these 3 Disney Halloween costumes. The first costume I want to start with is the Snow White. I've got to get my little blade. I'm really curious to see what the quality of this costume is going to look like because from the promotional picture on the packaging, it looks very nice. Ooh. There is a poison pouch down at the bottom, so if you have animals or children, definitely don't let that go missing. We have a few things that fell out of the bag here. This looks to be the cape. I did order mine in a size medium. I have not been extremely blessed up in the top region, so I was a little bit afraid I wouldn't have enough to keep it up. Moving on. Oh wow, this is very pretty. It's wrapped up kind of like a present. That feels very luxurious. Let's take a look-see, shall we? It's so pretty! It's very long as well, which is good. Yes, she is supposed to be all the way down to the floor, so definitely it's giving floor length. Here we have a quick little snapshot of it. Now the back is blank. For a Halloween costume, I don't expect them to wrap any type of ribbing or details really into the back of the costume. And also there is a cape that's going on to the back. Here is the Velcro where the cape is going to attach. The inside of the puffy sleeves kind of looks like a diaper. Kind of looks like the inside of a swimsuit. It's kind of giving sanitary napkin. It's kind of giving pad. But we do have a very nicely stitched detail on each of the puffy sleeves. We have a golden hem at the bottom. Very nice quality. Here is the collar that is supposed to keep itself stood up. We will see how well that stays on once I try it on. There we have the Leg Avenue tag with the zipping mechanism. On the neckline, we have different colored fabrics. This is all velour. I mean, the colors are just beautiful. We've got a little jewel in the center there. This does feel like it's a plastic material. It will most likely break if you're not careful. It is stitched there pretty nicely though. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. The skirt is so sparkly! We've got this beautiful bodice detail going all the way down, and this is just not cheap looking at all. It is very beautiful. It's quite lovely. Duo fabric for the skirt. We've got a glittery tulle on the outer edge, which I'm in love with. You can already tell I've been squawking about it since we started. And then we have the classic bright yellow fabric for the dress. We're starting off strong so far with the Snow White costume. I'm already very impressed with that. Moving on to the accessories. First off, we have the bow headband. Now, I tend to lean into a little bit more of the campy, theatrical scale of accessorizing, so when I like to put my own spin on things, I like really large-sized bows. As you can probably tell if you follow me on Instagram, I just like to camp things up a bit. I like to make things look a little kooky, disproportionate, kind of like you're hanging out in one of those wonky mirror houses. I just like when things look a little bit exaggerated, extra. So the bow, it seemed to be quite White classic, very small in comparison to my hand. You can see it is quite a small little bow, dainty. It has that classic Snow White look to it. There is a little bit of hot glue peeking through on the top, but it does not look like it's going to fall apart. I've seen some really bad quality headbands in my life, and I've also seen some very poor quality bows in my lifetime of performing and being in theater and being in wardrobe and film and all that. Like, I've seen a lot of different types of bow headbands. This one is a pretty high quality headband. And on top of that, we have the cape. Pretty standard to what I would have expected. The velvet is only on the outer piece. The inside is just a nice and soft fabric, soft to the touch. You do have the illusion of the velvet on the outside, and then of course we can see the Velcro pieces where it will connect to the neck. So let's go ahead and try on Royal Miss Snow and see what rating I would give it. Merlin's beard! This is
Stunning.
This is just fitting absolutely perfect. The medium has a little bit of stretch still, which I tend to like. I don't like feeling like I can't breathe. The cape looks so lovely as well. I was able to put the cape on by myself. Definitely is something that is doable if you're on your own, or you live alone, or you're just going to be out and about on your own for Halloween. The neck piece is very stiff. It's not going anywhere. It is very erect, standing straight up. I think it would be a little bit annoying if you were going to be wearing this for a prolonged period of time, perhaps for hours on end if you were at a Halloween party or going out for Halloween, or wearing it as a cosplay even. It does tend to feel like it's smacking me in the face. It truly does go all the way down to the floor. I feel like a real life princess in this. As I was walking from my bathroom getting dressed in this into my studio to film, I was literally having to walk around like a princess in a princess castle because I kept tripping on the skirt. So you really do have to give it one of these. I still stand behind what I said about the bow. I think the bow fits in this instance since it is supposed to be classic Snow White. I think it definitely does look classic Snow White. Personally, I would probably still go with a bigger bow just to give a little extra. It's a little itchy around the waist where this material is collecting. Back here where the zipper kind of meets the waistline, this area right here is super itchy on my skin. Keep that in mind if you have sensitive skin. You could always wear a slip under this just so that you have a layer of thin fabric between you and the interior of the dress. Probably what I would do if I were to wear this for multiple hours, just because I know my body, I would start getting rashes. I don't think it's a deal breaker at all. We're starting out strong. This is the type of costume that if you were to wear this to Disneyland, they would kick you out. They would see you and they would think that you were trying to compete with the actual commissioned Disney princesses. Out of 5 cauldron cats, I am giving the Royal Miss Snow Halloween costume 5 cauldron cats out of 5. Now, I don't mind this at all because, as I mentioned, I'm quite a for glitter. There's always glitter in my house. I like loose glitter, I like spray glitter, whatever kind of glitter.
I said we need more glitter.
But if you don't want to have glitter all over you or your house, this sheds glitter quite a lot. There is glitter in the air as I am talking. As I am shaking it, it is falling like pixie dust to the floor. Again, I don't mind. I like having a little sparkle everywhere I go. But if you do mind, if you're sensitive to the glitter, if you have animals or children that are going to be sensitive to flakes of glitter all over or in your wash, that is one thing I will say to look out for if you're gonna go with the Snow White. It is shedding glitter. Literally looks like Tinkerbell just imploded. Gotta love it. That's actually, well, very unfortunate for Tinkerbell, but kind of a vibe. Costume number 2, and honestly, the costume that I'm probably the most excited about is the Mad Hatter. Listen, okay, I've been watching Alice in Wonderland since I was a fetus, and I'm talking all versions of Alice in Wonderland. The creepy live action ones from the 60s and the 70s, the animated ones into the 90s, and of course, the live action that came out in the 2000s with Johnny Depp. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter chemically altered me for life. And I'm just gonna leave that there. For this Mad Hatter look, I was channeling more of that 2010 live action Tim Burton remake. That is like one of my favorite movies. It is amazing. Anyway, I'm super excited about this costume specifically. I honestly think that this gives more of a cosplay feel in terms of the materials used. Let's take a look and see what we're working with here. I just absolutely love the patchwork feel. That kind of junky amalgamation of fabric. I love the costuming that they do for Tim Burton's Mad Hatter. I love Johnny Depp. Who said that? Who said that? I just love how all of the fabrics come together in that costume. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. It is one piece, which is actually very convenient, especially if you're in a hurry or you just don't like wearing a lot of things. I tend to get overstimulated when it comes to costumes, especially if I'm wearing them for a very long time. This looks great so far. Upon first examination, this is quite stunning. Plaid collar, what looks to be pseudo rivets. It's supposed to look like a rivet in leather here on the cuff. It's not actual leather, it's not actual rivet, it's just a print on. Rivets here on the bodice with some chains. A silky duochrome with some crushed velvet brocade on it, and that's very beautiful. Kind of an asymmetrical tapered line on there. Then we have another kind of fabric here at the bottom. Again, still one piece overall, but we have the illusion of several different layers of fabric, which I am crazy about. We have got a gingham layer here, lower layer, which looks like it kind of can be trying to mock a petticoat coming out of all of this. At the bottom, we've got this silky blue, an illusion to look like Mad Hatter's coat. At the top, so we've got another crushed velvet, deep green, like forest green, real sexy green, and then some cuffs on the wrists with buttons as well. The inside of this is that same like pad, diapery, kind of napkin looking material on the inside. Parts of the costume that people are not going to see. It just doesn't really matter. I don't necessarily think for a Halloween costume that you need to be worrying about details like what is inside the cuff. Who really gives a fuck? Nobody. So then in the back, we've got the zipper mechanism. It zips all the way up. There's these two pieces of the coat that come out separate in the back. Very cute. Now the hat, I'm already gonna say it right off the bat, the hat is pretty low quality. It's not like an actual hat material. It's more of almost kind of like, I don't want to say foam because that sounds ridiculous. You'll see what I mean. So we have one of these. I really, really despise these plastic headbands. They tear into my earlobes and my temples and all of that, and I just absolutely hate it. But we've got a very basic black headband piece, and then we have the hat. This appears to be the neck piece. So we have another item here as well. We'll start with the hat. So here's how the hat comes. It's squished. So you're going to want to take this out and let it breathe. You're really going to want to give it a second to come back to life. It looks like a koozie. It's giving beer koozie. The brim has a checkered material. We've got that all the way around the brim. We have a ribbon around. We have this little clock. It is just a patch. So then we have this lacy detail here with some of that same plaid in the back and this little ribbon thing. So you do have to put the headband on in order for the hat to stay. Last but not least, we've got this little neck piece. Very self-explanatory. Goes around your neck. Who would have thought? I like the little pop of pink. You know me. I love pink. Then we have a lace detail at the bottom, and it is all held together with a ribbon and Velcro mechanism in the back. So far, first impressions, the Mad Hatter costume also not looking too shabby. For a deluxe costume, this does feel pretty lightweight. For a deluxe costume, I would have maybe liked to have seen a little bit more layers of fabric in the skirt, or perhaps a better fabric for the hat, something like that to upgrade it. I don't necessarily think that that's a deal breaker for the costume so far, but I think we're gonna have to go ahead and try it on and see to be sure. Here is the Mad Hatter costume. Unfortunately, I do have some things to say about this costume, and they are not all positive. Really wanted to give this costume a 5-star. Unfortunately, there's just some things that we need to talk about. So first of all, overall fit of the costume is very awkward. Very tight in certain places and then very loose in other places. The arms actually fit great. The problem is the bust area. This is just a very thin piece of swimsuit material, and it's very loose here in the bust. So I feel like if I bend over at all, my entire chest is going to fall out. These little pieces right here are definitely supposed to sit like that. I don't believe they're supposed to be sticking straight up like that. Maybe you could take an iron to it. I personally will not be ironing anything. I think you could probably put a steamer to this and try to get it to sit flat. I don't feel comfortable doing that with this material. Almost like a press-on sticker kind of feel. I just am worried it would burn off. All in all, the neckline is very bizarre. I don't know what's going on with this. You can see it's just not sitting properly. I do really like this part of the body. I think this is really pretty. I love the little chain details. This actually folds up, and that is my stomach right there. And this is like an elastic band. There is a little bit of stretch for the skirt. I'm not quite sure why there's like an opening right here. I think that's a little bit odd. I don't like that. I don't want to have my belly hanging out down there. Are you trying to remind remind me that I gotta do a little work on my gut because it's trying to pop out like a fresh baked bun. I did not add a petticoat. There's not a lot of room down here for anything else really to join the party. I don't think it would be comfortable to add a petticoat under this skirt. I have vintage petticoats, so mine are pretty long. It's definitely not gonna work with this, although I think adding one would be cute. The one I was gonna add is actually on my mannequin. Right now I have it paired with my Sailor Moon leather jacket. I will not be pantsing my mannequin just to put on a petticoat for this. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, we have the full detail in the back. This is a very, very thin material and it's very short. So if you're worried about it being short, it's short. Although if you are going for a little bit more of a sexy Mad Hatter, this is kind of leaning towards a sexy derivative. So moving on to, unfortunately, the next thing I have a problem with, it's this little lace collar. It's too big. It's kind of looking really droopy. There's no way to adjust it. It's just a Velcro in the back. Mine happens to be very loose on my neck, so it's kind of a little frumpy looking. I wish it was tighter so that it would sit perfectly to my neck like that. It's kind of just like falling around in there. I look like I'm doing that scene from High School Musical. Get your head in the game. I guess you could definitely take it in if you wanted to bust out a sewing kit. We're just going off of what we got here. The last portion I want to talk about is the hat. The hat is not great. The hat looks like it was dropped out of the back of a semi-truck, ran over a few times at criminal speeds, thrown into a ravine where it was then condensed between sedimentary rock. Then someone took a pickaxe and mined it out of the sedimentary rock, threw it back onto the road where it was ran over another time. Someone picked it up and then now it's on my head. It's very frumpy. I'm pretty sure it's still squished. What does it look like from the side? Squished? Yeah, it's just very squished. Also, I think one of the seams busted on this. If I were to wear this costume out for a party, I would add a petticoat under it, and I would also get a different hat. I would also take in the lace collar so that it fit properly. As it came out of the bag, I would give it a 3 out of 5 cauldron cats. I really wanted to give it a 5 out of 5, but unfortunately I had to take 2 cauldron cats away because of the very weird and inconsistent fitting. The state of the hat, I think it could just use a little bit of work. Not the worst, still really cute. I personally still think I can pull it off. She's serving whimsy. Campy, camp cunt. Leave a like for the Mad Hatter and also be sure to subscribe.
I'm watching you.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And we have made it to the final costume. We do have Princess Aurora in the house. It already feels magical. The crown for this one, I don't think I'm gonna like it. Honestly, it looks like one of those things you get out of a cereal box. I feel like you could probably find a pretty affordable Sleeping Beauty cosplay crown or some type of prop that you could just put on your head and DIY it for the costume if you really wanted to. I fully acknowledge that there are different levels of consumers. For some people, it doesn't matter to them if it is movie studio quality or cosplay quality. It doesn't matter, it's just a Halloween costume, so I totally get that. If you are on more the level of where I'm at, I'm just more into the higher level cosplay materials and the film proplicas and things of that nature. I would be more so in the boat of people that would definitely source a different crown for this if I was gonna wear this for Halloween. I enjoy that process though too. Ooh, she is looking rather voluptuous straight out of the bag. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of fabric. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty! You know what? I'm impressed. However, I think that this costume has been used, unfortunately, because it just looks very ran through. I will show you close-up details of what I'm talking about. Already, yeah. Yeah. Things are already fraying really bad on this. You can see how frayed this material is already on the handpiece. That is definitely not brand new. There's no way that that is brand new, and if it is, then that's a very, very bad quality, but I can tell. And this has definitely been used. You can see these little white pieces coming out of the elastic here at the bottom. Apparent sign of wear, usually from repetitive motions of moving your arms. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with receiving a used costume. This costume does look rough. Both of the arms, very frayed. You can see all of those little hanging bits. Literally, look at them hanging off there, looking like little sperms.
Brother, what's that?
Looking like ejaculate.
What's that, brother?
Nasty. I'm not happy with getting a used costume. I want a new costume. I don't want a costume that someone's sweaty armpits have touched, or their sweaty butt cheeks, or whatever it might be, what have you. And especially for, let's just go ahead and see how much this cost me. A pretty penny, I know that for sure. This costume was $94. So $100. And I received a used costume. That's not okay. If I got it for cheaper and I opted in to have a like new or used version, that's fine. But I chose a brand new costume. So already, we're not starting off good with this one. It is pretty upsetting to receive a used, frayed, worn, really low quality looking costume when you pay $100 for it. So I'm gonna have to knock points off for that, honestly. That's really upsetting. Aside from it being used, we do have an elasticated neckline. This is meant to hang down. It's supposed to be like an off-the-shoulder type fit. A jewel here on the neckline. Same type of plastic jewel that is on the Snow White costume. Pretty pink bow, laced up to look like a corset bodice. Gold ribboning here. And then we have multi-fabric going on. So we have a lighter pink, tapered off waistline here. This glittery fabric is very pretty. A tulle overlay on the skirt, glitter material on it. This is full glitter. Again, if you're not with the glitter shedding, you're not gonna like this. There's glitter everywhere. And then we have the classic full-length faux silk type skirt. I'm still gonna give it a fighting chance, but I will say this rating is based off what I received. And if I didn't receive a brand new costume, I can't give it a brand new rating because in 2025, we're not going off of words, we're going off of actions. Also, I'm trying to identify where the clear straps are.
Unfortunately,
because I received a used costume, my dress did not come with the clear straps that it was supposed to come with. I can also tell it was used because this is how it came. With just the promotional card and no hanger, no external bag. Ugh!
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
There's no crown.
What the fuck, man?
I'm really trying to hold back my crash out right now, but I'm feeling like I need to crash out in this very instant. Okay, so now I'm very upset because for $94, I didn't get 2 out of 3 of the things that this costume was supposed to come with. I didn't get the crown and I also didn't get the clear straps. And there's nothing in this bag. There's always one dud. There's always one shit. There was always one turd in the middle of every single brownie. No straps, no crown. She's not giving me what she needs to give me right now. She's serving enemy. She's serving mean girl vibes. Let's just try it on. I'm a little hot, so my rating has already gone down.
24 hours later.
So, funny story about the Sleeping Beauty costume. I have another one. Let me explain. When I originally placed the order for these Halloween costumes with Leg Avenue, my order got lost. I ended up having to reach out to their customer support and they just went ahead and sent me out a replacement. Now that replacement is what I actually unboxed yesterday while I was filming the whole portion of this video. Today, which is the next day, all of a sudden a box shows up at my porch and it is 2 of the 3 costumes that were lost in shipping. So I still don't know where the other costume was that was lost in shipping. This one ended up finding its way to me and I'm very grateful because look at this. This one is not used. It is still in the original branded packaging with the original hanger and you can see in here it actually has the crown and the clear straps. Interesting how we got here, but I am happy that I don't have to try on the used costume. I just don't feel that that is very sanitary at all, especially because I am not going to be washing these costumes. I get to give this another shot. Since I've already kind of talked about it, I'm gonna just put it on. Then we will take a look at everything, including the crown that it comes with and the dress itself. So let's put it on and see what Sleeping Beauty is all about. What is she giving? What is she serving? I do have some thoughts here. So first of all, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the fact that the costume I did receive, if I did not already know it was used and returned, I can prove it to you. If you saw in the clips where I showed the wear and tear on the sleeves, and I was very adamantly explaining how I knew for a fact that this type of fabric only looks like that when it's worn, I will show you firsthand. You can see how there is no fraying on the trim at all on this new costume that I just received in the mail this morning. It looks brand new. You can see under here, there are none of those little pieces like dangling down on the arm. I feel like a princess in this for sure. I love this glitter fabric. I think it's beautiful. I really like the sleeves. I think that they're very flattering. I am personally just not very fond of necklines like this on myself. I am a pretty muscular girl. I've always been pretty stocky. A football player build up top, got some broad shoulders. I could shoulder check you into the next dimension.
Christ.
I personally just feel like this neckline isn't very flattering on my body. It doesn't mean that there's a problem with the costume. I think the costume fits well. It's made well. I actually didn't even need to use the clear straps on this. This neckline is made out of elastic, so it has a good amount of stretch, but it also can cling to you a little bit more than just a traditional fabric would lay onto your shoulders, where I was kind of afraid if the girls couldn't hold it up, it would just kind of slip down. This elastic does kind of act as a grip, and because we didn't get to talk about it yesterday, the little clear straps will come in a bag like this. They just look like clear bra straps. So if you wanted to use the clear straps, you can see there is a loop here and a loop on the corresponding side in the back, so you can just go ahead and rig your dress up with the clear straps. The crown is higher quality than I thought it would be based on the product photos. I thought this headband piece, the pink headband piece, was going to be plastic. It's actually felt, similar to the Snow White headband. This piece at the top, however, is definitely not very high quality. I think the dress itself is totally cosplay worthy. We have this same hem all the way around the 360 of the fabric, which is actually very high quality for a Halloween costume. I feel like typical for a Halloween costume would be for you to have this layered waistline in the front and then for it to cut off and just be blank in the back. And on top of that, you get the glitter fabric all the way around the dress as well. I like this bow. I really love the little jewel. I like the lace-up bits. Again, this is a costume where if you were to wear this to Disneyland, they would kick you out. They would take you by your wig and they'd throw you out because it looks like I'm trying to run up on the princesses and be like, what? 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 You know what I mean? Like, I could serve the whimsy at Disneyland. Disney, hire me. Hire me, I could serve the whimsy. Check this out. I, Princess Aurora, I will use my beauty to get what I want. Exactly. How many cauldron cats would I give this costume? The neckline is where it doesn't add up for me. Honestly, I just don't like it. I don't really love the way that this looks on my shoulders. I think it makes me look big. And it's not the costume's fault. I just got big shoulders. That's not the costume's fault, but I'm trying to rate it based upon my preferences as well. Aesthetically, beautiful. Fit, honestly, it's not as uncomfortable as the Snow White costume. I will say that. It's a little bit more comfortable. I'm not a fan of this because if it's gonna cut the cleavage off, I would rather it cut my shoulder blades off as well. I don't know that I like free shoulder showing. I think I would prefer to free the titty over freeing my shoulder. I feel like for the price point, they could have put a little bit more into the crown, but also for the price point, it kind of makes sense that this is what we got for the crown. I would maybe say a 3.5 out of 5 cauldron cats. That is all for this Disney Halloween costume rating and review. What did you think of the costumes from Leg Avenue? Do you think they're worth the money? Are you going to be investing in one this Halloween season? Let me know all of your thoughts and your Halloween plans for your costumes down in the comments below. Also, if there's a costume category that you would like to see me feature in one of these Halloween costume rating and review videos, definitely also leave that in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button below the video. There is also a link up in the cards above that you can auto-subscribe, and I've also included a link to auto-subscribe in the pinned comment down below. Go ahead and click it. It's like a magical subscription link. You're welcome. Stay tuned for the next video because Halloween is just getting started. Spooky season has just begun and there are so many more adventures we're going to be going on. There's absolute lunacy that's going to be occurring and I really don't think that you want to miss out on that. Grab your flu powder, your broom, or just go ahead and get ready to apparate and I will see you in the next video. Bye!